Hello and welcome back. The So when we left off, we had just made our second colony. We're looking at another empire here who may or may not end up being hostile, depending on some choices he makes early. But he isn't overly fond of us because we're collectivists and he's individualist, so we're just never going to get along. But let's continue the game and get it going wherever we can. Actually, I think on the future episodes, I'm going to try and leave off at the top of a year. It just feels better that way, I think. And we actually have quite a bit of minerals saved up. So I can go ahead and send my construction ship down. Now I'd like to get... I'll probably have to get these two first to stop him from taking stuff away with his borders. He hasn't closed his borders yet, but if he sets me as a rival, he'll immediately close his borders. And there we go, the birth of space piracy. And it appears they actually are set up in this system. So my construction ship got itself killed. I like the tile yield from there. God damn it, where did they go? Present. And now my new planet, build its spaceport. And here I need to build a new construction ship. Now the pirates are going to get wrecked by my fleet. Actually, no, I'm going to send him here first. There. That pirate fleet is dead. I'm going to send them back to repair. And so, this is pretty important. This is the amount of damage that you did. Damage to armor, actually, I subtract damage from armor when I'm looking at this, because that's the damage that was mitigated by the armor. So I actually did, 1430. It expired. But the damage to armor is the only one that isn't actual damage. That's it. It's damage that was fully mitigated by the armor, and so generally you want that number as low as possible while destroying their fleet, basically. Let's see where the ion trail leads. Follow ion trail, track that on map. So I'm going to deal with the pirates, and then I'm going to deal with those guys. I believe I also have the solar panel network, yes. So the spaceport has a maintenance of 3 energy per month, and the solar panel network kind of counters it. But the way I think of it is the solar panel is just another 3 energy. Alright, and there's the hostile one already. Now, I'm going to deal with the pirates first. And then I'll have them move there. I'd be very surprised if I didn't end up losing a ship to the station there. Ah, see, that is right on his border now. So you recover the probe. And now I can send him in to build those mining stations. Here you can actually see the balance of hull. Green is friendly, red is hostile, and as the fight progresses you'll see it kind of pushing toward one side or the other. And that's actually a fairly good estimate for who's winning and who isn't. So I got 80 minerals and 50 energy out of them, and I didn't even lose a ship. Excellent. But here you can see his armor mitigated 1833 damage, meaning almost half of my actual damage dealt was wasted on his armor. And that's kind of important to take into consideration. And that's where energy weapons are going to come in later, is for dealing with more heavily armored targets. I'm just not expecting to fight too many of them early on, honestly. So he'll finish that project and then I'll get out of his space. I don't think the AI minds if you just hang out in their space, but I'd rather just not be in there. That's one probe finished. The fleet is finished repairing, so I'm going to send them here because this will be a combat encounter as well. And he can recover that probe. Yeah, two of them are simple probe recovery. One of them is follow an ion trail, and then you meet salvagers, and you can either pay them money, which I'm not going to do, or you can make them hostile, which I am going to do, because, you know, I didn't drive my fleet over there for nothing. So I want my solar panel network there. Let's see what the home planet's looking like. I can upgrade all of my power plants, but I think I want to spend a little on that first. And so another important thing to note, I don't even think it's a thing anymore, but I won't settle planets that have... Okay, so I defeated the salvagers. And I did lose a Corvette doing it. I get the mineral processing plant because that's a force multiplier. So I won't settle a planet that has fewer than 10 available population, because in order to get the maximum pure of buildings you have to be able to put 10 people on the planet. So the central building starts as a reassembled ship shelter. It upgrades into a planetary capital, or a planetary administration, and then into a planetary capital. And then your homeworld is special. It ends up becoming an empire capital complex, which is even better and allows you even more. But you can only have that on your homeworld as a balancing mechanism. It ends up making your homeworld by far your most valuable planet, which I think it probably should be anyway. But I'll move them there. I'm just waiting on this last Corvette to join the fleet, and then I'll go clean up this encounter where the probe decided to turn hostile. And this system is in my border, so it's going to get exploited. what is this? Yeah, science ship build cost. And I don't think I need the science ship over here for this, but I am going to have it in position just in case. And here, going to build a new colony ship. They're normally a good bit more expensive. I'm getting discounts from various things. And you can see this fight is just a cleanup operation. There we go, finished collecting all the probes, so I get a pretty hefty bonus to my available research. And there's nothing for the science ship to do, as I thought. So I'll send him there, and him there. So after I get this next colony going, I'm gonna build my fleet up to fleet cap to serve, if nothing else, as a deterrent. I don't want this guy getting cute. And I'm not settling this planet just yet, mostly because it's already well within my borders. I want to push my borders out first so that I can acquire more stuff, and then I'll worry about filling in the planets in the middle. I'll send him home. Physics lab is good. Damn it. I want to get assist research. Assist research allows me to assign a science ship to a planet where the science ship will just stay in orbit around that planet and continually generate extra research, but also get a lot of experience for the scientist. It's pretty useful to have. But I need to start saving up, I think, to deal with the spaceport. Because I'm getting discounts, I only actually have to have a little over 300, but I want to get above that threshold sooner rather than later. There's some pretty good candidates for terraforming around here too. That's interesting. Most of the asteroid has been laser chip visual with great precision, trying to be untold. Yeah, the template has been tumbling through the temple has been tumbling through the quietest space for far longer than we have been capable of spaceflight, which is disturbing at best and terrifying at worst. Our science officer urges us to search for more stellar objects that match the characteristics of this space temple, and has uploaded a list of likely coordinates. And let sleeping gods lie, or begin the shrine to the old gods. What could go wrong? It's not like old gods ever did anything bad to people, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and research both of these. I apparently have been messing up. I have debris in Hosent, Riak, and Narenka. So you're gonna. So I've got a control click to assign salvage orders, which tells them to move them to the front of the queue and do them immediately, and then get back to what they were doing. I forget where Riak is. Oh yeah, that was the these. That one's probably gonna expire first. No, actually, the Hosent. Well. So I've got my next colony ship on the way. And you can see I'm getting way below my fleet cap. The Nomad under the Hosent system, crew reported a stellar object not unlike the one shown to the Untold. I actually want to mark all of these on the map. Oh, they are all just in my space already. Ooh. Alright. The Audacity's entered it, and the crew report the stellar object. Alright, I think this is part of the Leviathan story pack. I've not played this story before. I have no idea how this is going to pan out. But when was the last time something bad happened when somebody was dealing with the old gods? What could go wrong? Alright, this planet is coming along nicely. Once it gets to 5 population, I can upgrade the central building. And that's going to unlock the ability to build all the nice stuff. Tankier crap. Their weapon is kind of in an odd space. I think it's pretty long range for a small gun. And it does... And it has a really high accuracy in tracking. But it just hits like a noodle. Torpedoes, red lasers, fusion power, that's nice. Which scientist finished? This one? Send him here. Deflectors, nanocomposite materials, those are good. I'm not overly fond of afterburners. They increase your combat speed, but I tend to play with longer ranged weapons anyway. And so increasing my combat speed doesn't help that much. It would help a lot more if ships would fight on the withdraw, but once combat's engaged, ships only seem to want to move forward. I'm actually going to have him research that. See what happens with this first shrine. Yeah, so now I've got an abundance of minerals sitting around. And okay, so void cloud observation. And the void cloud is the thing down here. It just kind of hangs out over the star. Which is fine for now, and I'll go get him later. Active countermeasures is good. That's point defense, which will be very handy against someone who's using missiles. I'm sure there's one floating around somewhere. Although I tend to prefer the flak batteries and flak artillery to the regular point defense. So I'm going to let him finish this project before I start another one. The Shrine to the Benefactress. Deciphering the pictograms in the Benefactress's shrine was a much smoother process than anticipated. All linguists involved described their language quickly, connecting or clicking in their minds despite its aging complexity. However, the writings are unlikely to make much sense until they're combined with the other writs associated with the rest of the quadriumvirate godhead. So Elior is the second location, so I'm going to move to that one next. This planet, 1 month away. Yeah. So we'll wait here, build its turret, or its spaceport, and I've got food on the way. This planet will have enough food to reach 5 population. Approach the Undaunted. So you research projects in that system, and then research that one. It'll be an adventure. Right, I'm working on that already. And how far are we? Still a little over 2 years. Which means it will be time. Alright, grand design, so empire-wide happiness bonus for 20 years. That's solid.
Construction complete. Special project complete.
After days of activities that can best be termed fiddling, science officer retrieved the doctrine of the Undaunted, a textile scroll coated with a sturdy plastic polymer. And I already told him to move to the next system to start on that one. Kind of interested to see where this goes. Feels an awful lot like worshipping the Protheans. If you've ever played Mass Effect and know how that ends.
Research complete.
Put him there with a mineral processing plant. So now the mineral processing plant grants a little bit of minerals itself, but it also gives a planet-wide modifier of mineral production, and both of those will increase as the building levels up. Oh, that's why I didn't see it earlier, is because I just got the technology for it. Makes sense. Engineering facility because science. And this guy found bad things. So I'll have him go finish that up. Science officer has reported back with the Nomad's findings of the Percipient's Shrine. They recognized early on that a text in the logographic script is inlaid with the walls, heavily distorted by layers of translucent lacquer. Initial attempts at unscrambling the text, relying on the raw processing power of the Nomad's computers to reconstruct the text from plain images, proved fruitless as it was simply too distorted to place in any known lingual family tree. Next, the crew of the Nomad attempted bombarding the lacquer with light of varying wavelengths and intensity, but no beneficial reactions were observed. Vera apparently considered physically separating the lacquer from the inlaid text, but realized the strange glyphs would doubtlessly have been made misshapen to begin with, only to assume their proper shape when viewed correctly through the lens of the lacquer. Vera was about to call the mission a failure when, looking up as they irritably paced along the edges of the circular space, they realized the discrete lines of cohesive text were momentarily forming before their eyes, melting away only to be replaced by new lines. Not long after they had the ceiling, walls, and floor imaged in a spiral pattern, text from other shrines would help us piece it all together. That's interesting. Alright. The complete doctrine of the gods, for that is what the recovered texts have been regarded as, dwarfing the fairy tale scraps upon which the Unity religions were founded, is as shockingly revelatory as it is revolutionary. With only a bit of creative interpretation, it's clear that the people of home were meant for great things, guided by the strong hand of a religious leader. Our path is one to godhood, but our past is littered with prophecies unfulfilled and sin born of ignorance. Redemption is ephemeral. Alright, so I'm guessing most of this is because I'm spiritualist with a spiritualist government. I can get some influence, which is I don't need, but it ends the chain. Do all of these end the chain? Yes, all of these end the chain. So monetize the findings, I can get some energy, which isn't that important, or I can get some society research, which is not a lot, but regardless of the veracity or validity of the sacred text, the fact remains that we share religious concepts with some older, unknown spacefaring race. I'm going to go with the science one.
Research complete.
What could go wrong? Alright, so I finally finished terraforming, which is good. I'm going to get the biolab because tile yields are important to me, and I currently have no biolab. This one, I've already built it, so we'll get the solar panel in here. Science ship. Hopefully I won't have to force exploration on stuff too much longer. Yeah, it's only 5 months remaining. So we'll have him survey there, and then head back to home. In the meantime, I can afford some more Corvettes. Yeah, that sounds about right. He encountered bad things, so I'm just going to send him home. And yeah, there's only 2 months left anyway. 4. Yeah, there we go. So that'll build me up to 20 fleet capacity. And let's see what the planet looks like. And here you can see the effect of the mineral processing plant.
Research.
So it's producing 1 as a base, 3 from the mining network, and then I'm getting 22% bonus between happiness and mineral processing plant, which is pretty solid. And I'm going to go with
Complete.
administrative AI, and he will assist research here. Clear these other 2 tile blockers.
Construction complete.
It's also about time for me to get this done,
Anomaly found.
but I don't have enough for that. 15% I'll roll the dice. Yeah, I don't like dealing with the scouting for too long. So I think I'm going to finish surveying that system, and then have him come back and assist research here. Yeah, React is getting very close to being able to upgrade its central building. Also in the contact list, I like to sort by relative power. It gives you a better idea of where you actually stand. I also don't care about primitives. Okay, so he's closed his borders with 2 other empires, so there are other people over that direction.
Anomaly found.
Research that anomaly too. And how far away is this? 4 months? And this one should be considerably farther, yeah. After I get the biolab, I'm going to focus a bit more on removing tile blockers. The tile blockers significantly inhibit your ability to use your colonies, and I don't particularly want to deal with that. But I'm going to slow it down to normal here. The first of the year is coming up, and like I said, I want to start ending sessions on the first of the year. Move him there so I can throw up a science lab. And I'm just waiting for the time to tick down a little bit further. But I hope you're enjoying so far, and I hope you have a good one. Thank you for watching.